Hi, I'm Kristen, and I'm the director of Faith Academy. Faith Academy is excited to open our doors to your family this August at our Earth City campus. We will offer care for your children ages 6 weeks to 5 years old, 5 days a week from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And for families who need more flexibility, we offer a part-time option as well. We're having an open house where you will visit our classrooms, meet one-on-one with the teachers, and explore our curriculum. Faith Academy, where we partner with you to provide a spiritual and educational foundation for your child.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by faithchurch.com. Coming up next,
get in the game and say, I'm going to use what I currently have in my hand to make a difference in somebody else's life, and I'm going to go for it. I'm going to walk on some water. I'm going to make some bold moves, and it's not always going to be about me.
People connect, families grow, lives are changed. People connect, families grow, lives are changed.
There's a story in the Bible that talks about a man by the name of Elisha. You know Elijah, the older guy. And you got the apprentice, the Elisha. Elisha goes on and he does double miracles, double power, double restoration. Everything he does is twice what the initial guy was. That's what life really is about. Success without a successor is failure. God wants to take you further than your predecessors. He has advances for you. He says, I want you to go from glory to glory, faith to faith, victory to victory. Well, one day there was the school of the prophets that, Elisha was in charge of, and they said, hey, it's too small. We need a bigger building. So I have an idea. So they go to Elisha and they said, can we go down to the Jordan? We'll take our axes. It's some deep water around that area, and we can actually float logs in from all over. It was an ingenious plan. Said, can we go down and build God a bigger place? And Elisha says, yeah, do it. Key phrase. They ask a question. They said, will you, Elisha, go with us? This is a type of Jesus. If you put it over in the New Testament, it's asking Jesus to be in every part of your life. And we're all building something. We're building a business. We're building a marriage. We're building a life. And Elisha said, yeah, I'll go. So now they go down to the Jordan, and they're chopping away, which that's what happens a lot of times in building a business or building a life. It takes a long time. There's a lot of stuff happening. And then the next thing you know, the axe handle flies off. Have you ever flown off the handle? Come on, this is as good as the jokes are going to get today, y'all. I have to do it every week. It's always new, right? Bam, it flies off the handle, and it falls in some deep water. Blunk. The water's so deep and it's so murky that they can't get it. See, sometimes we're in some deep trouble, deep debt, deep problems, and we can't reach down with the arm of the flesh. It's too deep. So we don't know what to do. And by the way, God has deep plans for you. He's got some big things he wants you to do. But time has talked you out of that. The divorce has set you back. But within every setback is a divine comeback. I still believe in a God who knows how to get water out of a rock, who knows how to split a Red Sea. And he does it with people like you and I who think that Moses stutter. I'm supposed to communicate the gospel to the world. I can't talk. Yeah, use what's in your hand. You got a rod, Moses. That's it. David, he's looking for armor of Saul. It doesn't fit. It's too deep. I don't know what to do. He says, David, use what's in your hand. What is that? I got 5 rocks. Well, you're only going to need one. See, when God's super comes on your supernatural destiny becomes a reality, and you can do what God called you to do and caused you to do, but you got to be thinking in miracle territory. Sometimes we get stuck in the depth of, why do bad things happen? How did this happen? I can never overcome it. The brilliant plan that they had was to take the man of God with them, which is why you have to have a local church. It's why you have to go to church. It's why you have to watch online when you're not at church. You have to come into God's presence so he can recalibrate your thinking. I mean, just today, I can promise that I could interview people throughout the church, and you would say, while they were singing that, Lord, have your way, Lord, have your way, or another, because of your grace, there was some point during the service that God began to kind of speak to your heart or touch your heart. That's what separates us from the natural to the supernatural. We get recalibrated when we come into his house. That's why he said, enter his gates with thanksgiving. Enter his courts with praise. That's why I said, forsake not the assemblings of yourself together. When the evil day approaches, do it all the more. That's why you're watching right now. God needs a man of God in your life to speak to you when things fly off the handle, when it's too deep, when you don't know what to do. The good news is they had him, and they said, hey, Elijah. They cried out. 2 Kings, let's go there. His first words were, and it was borrowed. 6:5. He was cutting down the trees. It fell in the water, and he cried, it was borrowed. I love it that he cried out it was borrowed. It shows he had a conscience. A lot of times it would fall in the water, and we'll go, it's borrowed. I can just take the easy way out. I'll just flip open the Bible and see where it opens. Oh, it opened to chapter 11. If you don't know what chapter 11 is, bankruptcy. Oh, okay, forget it. Sometimes we're looking for the easy way out instead of calling for God. Now, here's the crazy thing about God. He does stupid stuff. It doesn't make sense. Oh, he's blind? Okay. Spit in some mud. Put mud on his eye. Was that some kind of healing mud? No, it was God's method. Oh, that woman there? Touch the hem of my garment, you'll be healed. He does weird stuff. I mean, he started it weird. When there's a girl who's dating a guy named Joseph, she says, okay, I want to have a baby. We're going to get married. She went to Target. She registered. She planned out everything. She's got the napkins and everything's just perfect. And then God comes in and says, Mary, you are highly favored. She's like, oh, thank God, I'm highly favored. He goes, yes, you're going to have a baby. She's like, yeah, I'm excited. In a few years, me and Joe, we're going to have babies. She said, no, you're going to have it before you and Joseph come together. What? It's going to be scandalous. Listen, God will take you in miracle territories, and oftentimes he does things in unique ways, and he blesses you in weird ways that doesn't make any sense, but he does it for a purpose. His purpose for you is good. He predestined you to do something great. Check this out. We're talking specifically about money today, talking about borrowed things today. He said, I've given you the power to get wealth that you can establish my covenant. It's nice to have a great house. That's awesome. Great cars. Awesome. It's nice to have nice things. I mean, I'm friends with Brooke Doveman. Every year we go over to a Christmas party because you like nice things. It's okay to like nice things. I was at his house different people's house the other day, and they said, hey, look, this goes back to Louis the 14th. I'm like, it's no big deal. Mine goes back to Carol House on the 18th. But God's not against you having stuff. He's against stuff having you, when the purpose for this axe head, even though it was borrowed, was to build the house of God, to change somebody's life, to build wells in other countries. Our church has 6 or 7 churches in Thailand with wells that they're having church today based on the generosity of people who saw what they had in their hand wasn't much, but when they gave it to God, it multiplied and people's lives were changed. That's the purpose of M-O-N-E-Y, of money. So they cried out, God, it's borrowed. What do I do? It's borrowed. Now watch the lame idea the man of God has. Or was it an inspired idea? He said, take a stick and throw a stick. Where did you drop it? Where? That's what it says in that version, in that Bible. Where did you drop it? Where? I think it was over there. I love it. Great teachers always ask questions. God, the greatest teacher of all, in the beginning, he said, Adam, ask him a question. Where are you? You can't play hide and seek with God. He knows where you are. He was wanting Adam to address where he was at. God will always ask you, where are you? The man of God purposely asked, where did you drop it? He said, I think it was in that area. And the Bible said he threw in a stick and it swam. The axe head, one translation says, it floated. God reverses the first note. He floats the note right there. Boom, it goes to the surface. When it comes to the surface of the top, he says these words in the scripture. It says, reach for it. Verse 7, therefore he said, pick it up yourself, and he reached for it. Pick it up yourself. A lot of times we want God to do something supernatural, like do that. This isn't supernatural. I just had an idea to put a magnet on a stick. Boom, it floated. God floats it through the power of this miracle stick. Notice it's not the same stick he had been using previously. This is a new stick. God's going to do a new thing in your life, and it'll have new theology and new ideas and concepts. And this new stick has a different set of rules. And the rules are this. Number 1, put me first. Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God in his righteousness, and all these things, ings, housing, bling, bling, cha-ching, cha-ching, all the ings will be added unto you. See, when we had the old stick, we would add the stuff to ourselves. We would buy things we couldn't afford with money we didn't have to impress people we didn't like. Then Discover Car discovered where we lived, and don't you hate it when that happened? But under this new idea, this new concept, God tells the man of God, throw in a stick. Where did you last drop it? I'm that man of God in your life. I'm asking you today, where did you last drop it? Well, I was fine until I got really bored and then I needed therapeutic shopping. And I know all about that. We had to have a new stick years ago. I told Nicole, we're going to get out of debt. We got a new plan. Debt means doing everything but thinking. The acronym. Or doing everything but tithing. I've heard it both ways. So I said, hey, we're gonna cut back. She said, well, I'm still going to power walk at the mall. I'm not going to spend any money, but I love to power walk at the mall. She's walking down one day. She saw a red dress. The red dress said, you need me. Come and get me. Put me on. And she thought it won't hurt anything, so she put it on. I said, what did you do? Why did you buy it? You were supposed to say, get behind me, Satan. She said, I did. And he said, it looks good back there, too. See, sometimes the lust of the flesh, the pride of life will talk you into things you don't need when you have singleness of purpose. And the man of God says, through the new ideas, through the new philosophies, you will have to reach for it, but it can be done. He said to owe no man nothing but to love him. The quickest way out of debt is to add new debts. No new debts. Some of you guys need plastic surgery. That's where you take a credit card and you take your scissors and you just cut them up. Because you have to start thinking when God speaks to this new philosophy and you pick up the new stick and you say, all right, it's deep. We dropped it in some really murky water and it doesn't look possible. It's too deep for me to reach in and I can't find it. But God, your new stick, your new power is going down and I believe you're going to bring me out of debt, that you're going to do some supernatural things, that you're going to give me a witty, prolific idea which is beyond my natural intellect, something really stupid, something, a genius idea that everybody else has overlooked. God's going to put it on you if you will say, God, can I obey you? I had a friend once tell me that God blesses some people knowing they will bless him. And he blesses other people because they are blessing him. See, every seed contains something on the inside of it, a genetic code to produce. So if you sow corn, you get corn. If you sow marijuana, you get marijuana. If you sow good deeds, you get good deeds. If you sow bad seeds, you get a bad harvest. If you sow financial seed, giving God the opportunity to say, God, I've been doing it my own way, and I looked, and it's just not working well for me. I've been doing it in the natural, but I need your supernatural to come in my life. And God, from this moment forward, I'm going to get this new concept and this new idea, and I'm going to put you first for the first time ever. And let me tell you what it does for you. It makes you happy. When's the last time you were truly happy? Like kid happy. Like my daughter, she's 9. She got to go to a birthday party yesterday, and she was so excited on the way to go to the birthday party. She didn't even know what to do with herself. She started talking really fast because she was going to go to the birthday party with her friends. And I thought, man, I haven't been that happy in forever. She was just going to a birthday party outside with no covering in a park in a bad neighborhood. But she didn't see it that way. When's the last time you felt that joy, that satisfaction? Well, this didn't do it, and that didn't do it. It's because we're away from our purpose. We have duplicity of vision, and we're not really focusing on the main thing that God called us to do, and therefore we stay continuously somewhat disappointed in ourselves. Over in Matthew 6:22, check this out. They'll put it on the screen, 6:22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, the whole body will be full of light. Everything we see is everything we want. I want more. Not against you having things. I believe in that. More. And we become so preoccupied with all the stuff that we really lost sight of what God was trying to do, which was build something for other people, which would change somebody's life. Now, Nicole and I, about almost 8, 9, close to 9 years ago now, my dad went on to be with the Lord. I was walking past this great house that we'd built with big gates and big, huge fountain and a barn every bit as big as this building, full of cars and horses, and we had a lot of cool stuff. And I was walking along, and I passed the fountain, and I heard the Lord say to me, not in a big voice, but in a still, small voice, I heard him say, someday you're going to regret all this. use your life to change somebody else's life. Use your gift to communicate in a humorous style to help people. Then he drops a bomb on me. He says, I want you to stop thinking the old way, and I want you to sell everything you own, and what you can't sell, I want you to give it away. I went to Nicole and I told her, hey, I got a new idea. We're going to sell our house. What we can't sell, we're going to give away. You know, all the properties that adjoin ours that we have that we were going to build for the kids? Yeah, we're going to sell those too, and we're going to use it to help God, and we're going to go on television, and we're never going to ask for money. Is that good with you? And she's like, you're out of your mind. But then she agreed. We sold our house. We gave all our stuff away. And then God blessed us with another house. And if I was asked today to go back, and I was 2 years ago, then I could go back and buy that place again. And I had the money to buy it. And I walked around, and it was if it was something really in my past that I had no desire at all to go back for. Because now I have such happiness and satisfaction and joy in people coming up to me going, you changed my life. In reality, I know it wasn't me. It's the obedience of God's stick in my life going, hey, use this supernatural thing that you have called this gift to communicate, to change other people's life. And I'm begging you today, ma'am, I'm begging you today, sir, to get on the stick, get in the game and say, I'm going to use what I currently have in my hand to make a difference in somebody else's life, and I'm going to go for it. I'm going to walk on some water. I'm going to make some bold moves, and it's not always going to be about me. Because when we left that house, I looked back, and I thought, what's going on? We're leaving 30 acres to live on an acre. Sold all of our stuff, but deep down, felt like it was God. God won't require that perhaps of you. To much is given, much is required. The more you have, the more he will require. But I've noticed that the more you have, sometimes the more it has you. Talking about some people who will say, God, I don't have much, but everything I have, I give it to you. God, I stutter, but I'll be Moses. God, I'm David. Everybody's making fun of me, and I didn't even get invited to the party, but God, I'll use my life to change your life. God, I'm just a little girl named Esther, but for such a time as this, I'll make a bold move and walk in and save the Jewish people. I'm telling you that you've been talked out of your divine purpose, and I'm here to talk you into it again and let you know that God has good plans for you, and what didn't kill you makes you stronger, and you've went through hell, but you didn't stop, and now you can use your life to help somebody else, and by God, that's what we need to do. Let's get on with the plan of God for our life, and let's at least be as smart as these young prophets and hang around the old prophet. And I'm not that old. I'm 43, and I know what you're thinking. I don't look a day over 42, and I appreciate you saying that. But you need somebody in your life on a weekly basis to tell you, what are you doing? David had everything in the world. They wrote songs about him. Supernaturally kills Goliath. He's floating all kinds of incredible opportunities. He now sits in the seat of the power, but he gets drunk in his own success and thought, I got so much, I don't need to go to battle. So he stays home, he sits around and does what he wasn't supposed to be doing. He has improper relationships with this woman. She gets pregnant. He freaks out in his own way with his old stick, old philosophy. He picks that stuff up and says, that's the old way of thinking. Well, we need to kill him. So everybody thinks that maybe he's the father, so they did that. Then the child is now born. The child gets sick. The child dies. He marries Bathsheba. And in the middle of this, there comes an old man. He says, hey, David, there was a guy who had 100 sheep, had a lot of sheep. And this one poor old man had this baby sheep, and he fed it, and he took care of it all of his life, and he finally got to the point of reaching the celestial city, and he gets there, and the man who owned the 1,000 sheep, he took the guy's one lamb. What do you think we ought to do with that guy? And David said, kill that guy. It's ridiculous. He said, you're that man. You got all this. You got all these women. You got all this money. And if that hadn't been enough, I'd given you more. But then you take the one guy who had one wife that he loved, and you went back to the old way of thinking. The cool thing about David is David said, oh my God, I'm that man. God, forgive me, I've sinned against you, God. I want to pick up the new stick, the new ideology, the new philosophy, and I want to move forward. I'm telling you right now, your heart's pounding because this isn't just a sermon. This is a word from God to you. Where are you, Adam? Where are you, sir? Where are you, ma'am? At the end of the trail, thank God for mercy. God looks at David and said, David is a man after my own heart. I love that man. Why? Because he was a fornicator or an adulterer or a murderer? What would it be? No, God wasn't looking at the sins of the flesh. He was looking at the attitude and the purification of the heart. He was looking at what was in his hand, which was the call of God in his life. And for that, I'm forever grateful, because when God looks at me, I know that he sees Jesus. Because when I look at me, I see a person who's not educated, who doesn't have the skill set or the qualities to do what I'm called to do. Yet every Sunday, people tune in around the world. And every Sunday, people go to church to hear one braying donkey tell you that God is bigger than the devil, and that your past doesn't equal your future. And God's not pointing the finger at you this way, but this way. But I'm asking you today, where are you? Where are you? Someday, not too long, we're going to go to heaven. God's going to be sitting on the big, great, white throne judgment. Nothing to be afraid of, because we're not going in our own acts, our own good deeds. We're going in the blood. But however, when God looks at us, I want him to say those words that we all dream about hearing. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. Now enter in to the kingdom of heaven. That's something you can't buy. That's something you can't pay for. But it's something you can do through the obedience of your heart, with using what's in your hand, with reaching into the depths of your possibilities, reaching into the depths of the call that God has for you, and saying, you know what, one thing I don't have a lot of strength, I don't have a lot of money, but I'm going to maximize the possibilities of my life by throwing myself wholly into it, and I'm not going to cry about what I didn't have and what didn't happen. Master, it was borrowed. What do I do? Some people would just say, oh, I always make dumb decisions. I did it again. I give up. Throw in the towel. It's over. Forget it. No, but he had the ability to say, wait a minute. I freaked out because I did make a mistake. But I believe that God has the ability through the word of a man of God to speak to my heart and change this situation around. And here's the difference between the haves and the have-nots. Those who make it and those who don't. Here it is. It's very easy. It's in the doing. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Yes, but it's in the doing of the truth. The crackhead knows crack's going to kill him. He has the information, but he doesn't have the doing. Be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own self. For a self-deceived man is more deceived than anyone, because he thinks he's right when it's not right. Can I tell you something about me? I lie to me. Yep, you're looking at a liar. I lie to myself, convincing myself that it's okay to purchase that. It's okay to do that. It's all right. And I convince myself, but in reality, to really have some guardrails in life, you have to say, wait a minute, David Crank, you are a liar. You are lying to yourself right now. And you might be able to fool everybody else, but you're not fooling God. And you're kind of freaking me out because you're fooling you right now. You can talk yourself into all kinds of philosophies. And I'm not a preacher that preaches doom and gloom, but I'm telling you what, the world's getting really nasty, and that which is accepted by everyone, including our government, is okay in their eyes. But there's still one guy that it's still not okay with, and last time I checked, they don't vote him in every 4 years. He's God, and he says, where are you people? What are you thinking? Are you kidding me? Then Jesus gets to come in and says, God, don't open up the earth and don't kill them all. Let's just put Pastor Crank on more television. Let's put Joel on more television. Let's let the world know that what we don't need is the world's philosophy and ideology and education. What we truly need is a word from God that says something crazy like, you're favored, you're going to get pregnant, although you never had a relationship with a man. It's pretty crazy, but if you throw a stick in, this whole situation can reverse and you can come to the top. It seems crazy to the natural, but with God, all things are possible. I'm telling you, He still knows how to get water out of a rock. He still knows how to turn water into wine. He can do it if you will say, God, here I am, choose me. The last thing I want to do with my life is look at the end of it and say, I was afraid. Because I've been scared out of my mind when I first was asked by God to sell everything we own and give it away. It scared me. Then God said, I want you to go on television on ABC and never ask for money. How do we pay? Feed my kids, I'll send the child support. Okay, He did that. I want you to start a church in the biggest bar in the state of Missouri. I want you to purchase 150,000 square feet of building and you're only bringing in $1,800 a month at the satellite campus. God, how are you going to do that? Just throw the stick in the water. Today, thousands of people went to church there and tens of thousands of people have given their life to Christ because I did it afraid and I obeyed God. And I lay down at night knowing, you know what, if it had not been for Jesus, we wouldn't do it. I'm begging you to live this life of faith today. I'm begging you to pick up the stick and make a move to the next level. I feel God.
I hope you enjoyed that talk today with that fish tank and that incredible miracle story of how an axe head floated in the Bible. You know, God's still in the miracle working business. You might need a miracle today in your marriage, in your money, in your ministry. I don't know where it is, but I know God knows exactly what's on your heart. I think it's important today that you pick up the phone and call and get a hold of this DVD. We want to ship it to you as our gift to you. No strings attached. All you have to do is log on to faithchurch.com and click on the free DVD or call the office. Also, we'd love to invite you and your entire family out to visit with us this weekend at the Faith Church. I promise if you come out, we're going to make you feel right at home. You know, each and every week you miss a large portion of the service unless you watch online at our online campus. You miss all that praise and worship and all that interaction with believers. It's a powerful time. If you enjoy the music of Hillsong and a lot of your great contemporary Christian artists today, you will love our praise and worship here. What a better way to try it than online. Kick the tires a little bit and then come out and see us in person at our Sunset Hills campus right off Highway 30 or our Earth City campus right off Highway 70. We'd love to see you this weekend at the Faith Church.
People connect, families grow, lives are changed. People connect, families grow, lives are changed.
Hi, I'm Kristen, and I'm the director of Faith Academy. Faith Academy is excited to open our doors to your family this August at our Earth City campus. We will offer care for your children ages 6 weeks to 5 years old, 5 days a week from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And for families who need more flexibility, we offer a part-time option as well. We are having an open house where you will visit our classrooms, meet one-on-one with the teachers, and explore our curriculum. Faith Academy, where we partner with you to provide a spiritual and educational foundation for your child.